this video should be intriguing for all of us, to say the least, but particularly for me, it's relatable at the moment. So let's tap in with the Last Flight Out podcast and see exactly what they have to say with regards to the hardest injury to recover from in sports. Let's go.
The hardest injury to come back from.
What's the hardest injury you would say to come back from, recover from?
The hardest injury to come back from, I would say it's probably any type of tendon injury.
So like an Achilles,
a patella tendon. They're not death sentences anymore, but just the nature of the injury, I think, is pretty challenging.
KD came back. Look at him, a year and a half. Clay's not the same player, obviously, but KD almost came back with no dip in his performance.
Yeah, but like you have to kind of view performance from a different lens, right? Like, so physical output versus like technical performance, right? Like KD 6'11", 7 feet, skill, can score. But then, like, again, strip under the hood. Again, not saying I know anything about his specific profile, but like you got to make sure, okay, for the calf itself, like, is that calf back to performing?
Right.
You know what I mean? Right. Like they can go out. I've met some people who can't even do a calf raise, but are hooping at the high level because they had a past Achilles tear. Or injury. Especially in the G, I came across it a lot.
Yeah. Can't do a calf raise.
Can't do a calf raise, but they're hooping.
Damn, how do you even lift?
The body's amazing. So maybe they compensate through a different muscle group. They generate force from their quads or their glutes instead of like the calf, you know?
But that'll come out at another time.
It's not optimal, but like maybe like you'll see it certain like movements, or like maybe that one side would be prone to like knee issues because the calf is not helping to share some of the stress. But
so let me add into what he's saying so far. He's speaking from a very educated position, I believe. I'm not positive who this gentleman is or what his expertise is, but he clearly knows what he's talking about. Maybe I should know who he is, but I do not at the moment. But I can chime in on this. When he says the hardest injury for athletes to come back from is some sort of a tendon tear. Well, that's my first major injury that I sustained on March 21st of this year. I tore my patellar tendon in my left knee, and I had no idea. I hadn't had any real serious injuries up to that point, and then for this to be the first one, it was a big learning experience for me. And to just add some validity to what he's saying, my physical therapist actually told me that recovering from my injury, which is a patellar tendon tear, is actually significantly more difficult, more cumbersome. It's a longer process than coming back from an ACL, MCL, or PCL. They said I would have been better off tearing one of those versus tearing the tendon. So he's not off base at all in regards to recovery. I'm still in the process of recovering now. I tore my knee on March 21st. I got surgery on March 26th. It is now August 18th, and I'm still probably at like 75%. So that lets you know how long of a road. And I've been going to physical therapy 2 to 3 times per week since the week after surgery. So I've been in physical therapy for damn near 5 months straight, 2 to 3 times a week, and doing my own stuff, doing my homework and stuff like that. So he not capping when he says like coming back from tendon tears, it's a whole different beast. I'm not surprised that he's saying there's people who can't do a calf raise, but they still hooping, because the way it feels, even now being back in the gym, doing some boxing movement, working on some footwork, pivoting, pushing off, planting, shifting weight, the way it feels, if you're not mentally together, your ability to trust and rebuild the mind muscle or mind tendon, mind body connection with regards to that particular body part, whether it be an Achilles, a patellar tendon, whatever the case may be, it can significantly impact whether or not you're going to make a full recovery, and whether or not you'll actually ever be the same athlete again. I know on day one, when I went into physical therapy, I let them know, hey, I'm trying to get back to being an athlete. I'm not just trying to get back to daily life. Because most people in physical therapy, they're just trying to get back to daily life. They want to be able to walk, sit down, get up, nothing too crazy, hit a flight of stairs if they need to, etc. That never was my mission. So if you're trying to get back to athletics after a tendon tear, I have a different respect for Kobe Bryant. I have a different respect for what Jason Tatum's going through it now. Damian Lillard's going through it now. And I think one more person tore an Achilles this playoffs. So those tendon tears is definitely a different monster. I just had to add that in from my own personal POV right now. But let's see what else they say.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see that.
And just from your professional opinion, man, you're seeing all these ACL tears, man, right now in the NBA. Like, what do you? These are top performing athletes, right? Like, what is an ACL like random? Like, is it like? Because you see some guys like even the NFL. I know you don't do NFL, but I'm just saying like NFL, NBA.
Yeah,
it's like you see all these top performing guys that are like going down. What do you do as a strength coach to try to prevent those sort of like?
It's this. I don't believe in like preventing the injury. Prevention is like not a real thing. It's like injury mitigation. Like, what can we do to decrease the risk? Like, there's evidence that shows like, all right, the stronger you are, the less likely you are to get hurt, right? Like having good strength in certain muscle groups and a certain balance between certain muscle groups have shown to kind of help protect the joint. Like things like load management, like, you know, not doing too much too soon, allowing for adaptation, so rest and recovery. And sometimes it's bad luck, bro.
Yeah.
You know, so like you can do all the right things and sometimes you still get hurt. So it's tough, you know, it's tough. It's not a straightforward answer. It's multifactorial. Things change. You have a past history of a hamstring and that affects the way you run, jump, you land. And it's going to force you to move in a different way. Maybe that moving in a different way will stress your knee in a way that you can't necessarily tolerate. I don't know, right? So
yo, shout out to Stephanie tapping in from Twitch. Welcome to Chat 333. We sure appreciate you. Make sure you subscribe to me on Twitch. I definitely appreciate you, Stephanie.
Classic.
All day long, twice on Tuesday. How's your day going so far? My day is going well. Shout out to the chat. Mr. McBride in the building, 333. Souls of Thought in the building, 333. What up,
Classic.
chat? Let's go.
It's not straightforward.
So I guess what is a Alvin DK program, whether you're a college athlete or high school athlete, and they come to you, or even a pro athlete, they come to you, what is the first thing that you're looking for? Or why should someone kind of incorporate? Do you think like high school athletes or college athletes should incorporate
absolutely
performance coach?
I had a high level high school athlete coming to see me today, and I'm talking like this kid is explosive. Like if I show you a clip, you're like, whoa! Like he on a break, he's trying to put people in the gym. Jumping out the gym. He's paced. Like he'll make a move, he'll bump, he'll spin, he'll square, he'll elevate and shoot. You don't see that kind of pace with a 15-year-old. So his genetic output is there. So in that case, like I'm looking to see what his health is like, right? Like what his joints are like, right? Does he have adequate range of motion in his hips and his knees and his ankles? Does he have good tissue extensibility in key muscle groups that help protect, or I would say like we call it like amplification and like a force? Like can it like
Here's the thing. They're talking about the science behind injury. Stephanie, shout out, said glad to hear that. Just dropped you a follow. Gratitude, much appreciated. Tap in with us. We here live streaming every single day. Shout out to everybody tapping in from Twitch. Shout out to everybody tapping in from Rumble, and of course my YouTube audience as usual.
Classic.
Adding to what he's saying though, in regards to like the injuries and the injury prevention that people do, and the things that they put in place to try to shore their bodies up. You have to understand, if you play sports or do any activity at a super high level for a long enough period of time, you're gonna experience what I call a blown tire, whether it's your ankle giving out, your Achilles, whether your knee, you tweak a hip, you tweak something, elbow, wrist, you're gonna have nicks and bumps and bruises. And if you play long enough at a high enough level, you'll sustain a serious injury. Again, referencing myself, this is my first serious injury, and I've been alive for a while. You know what I mean? But I've ramped up my activity. I do things at a high level. When it comes to certain physical activities, I do them at the level of professionals. When it comes to other activities, I do them at levels higher than the average civilian. And when you operate like that, you're resting your recovery. Especially as you continue to age, your rest and recovery and recuperation regimen is literally just as important as your workout routine. So when he's talking about noticing imbalances or other muscles compensating for other muscles and, you know, different things like that, you want to try to address those things as quickly as possible so that the inefficiencies don't create the big pop or the big tear that you're trying to avoid. Souls of Thought said we have normalized overtraining, which is not safe. I agree. But, you know, to play at the level that some of these sports are being played at nowadays, you can't take too many days off. These people trying to figure out how to enhance active recovery days. You know what I'm saying? It's a catch-22. It's like you want to be great, you want to grind every day, but then your body needs its time to rest. And for some people, it's hard to tell them to sit still, myself being one. Let's go.
Like dampen force and amplify force. So like, do you have good mobility in certain muscle groups? And you're starting there. Most of these young kids can't squat properly. Most of these young kids don't know how to like take care of their health. So you're instilling good habits in them. So like, yeah, the first and foremost is just like health before you get into all the sexy stuff. Because at 15, one may are like, why are you doing that? Right?
Yeah.
Focus on like the weak link, and then everything else gets elevated, right?
And I'm sure a lot of the foundation of that is their diet, right? Like what 15-year-olds, I mean, if you're a high performing athlete at that point, you would NBA or college prospect, you're probably eating healthy anyway.
Sure. Well, you
Well, that's the thing too. That's a great thing. I'm glad they added in your diet can help you with injury prevention in a lot of different ways. You got some people that are youth athletes and they work out, train, but they still eat the traditional American fried food. They still eat junk food. They still snacking and doing like traditional Western, westernized people do as far as their eating regimen is concerned, snacks, processed foods, things like that. All of these foods are inflammatory. They're inflammatory. They cause inflammation. The more inflammation, more prone and susceptible you become to injuries. They also build up fatty tissue. More fatty tissue, more prone and susceptible you become to injuries. Things like that. So it is important to have a good, hearty, healthy, wholesome diet. But even with your diet on point, even with your rest and recovery on point, you could still just blow a tire. When I got hurt, I wasn't doing nothing sophisticated. I was wide open on a breakaway, going in for a layup. I wasn't even trying to explode off the ground or try to dunk or nothing. I just went to go in for a layup, never got off the ground. As soon as I planted my foot, boom, blew a tire. It's sometimes, like he said, sometimes it's just bad luck. But I'll tell you, it's God intervention. Because soon as I hurt myself, I said, oh, okay, I'm being sat down for something. I'm being sat down for a reason. Let me make the most of this time. That's what my mind went immediately. So sometimes when you do everything right, and you still being made to sit down, that's just life happening. But let's go.
You chicken nuggets in there. Go play.
We were athletic. We was eating anything. So I'm sure if you could jump out the gym, got offered.
If you're in the NBA, like you have a full
you have a chef.
You gotta have.
You got some people.
There's a chef. There's a dietitian on staff. Like they have their own personal chefs.
Everyone gets one
if you pay for it.
Or it's an extra add-on even as a player.
Yeah, we have a team chef, a team dietitian, but then the players will usually have their own personal chef that cooks meals for them.
Yeah,
and they coordinate with our dietitian to make sure that they're getting the macros that they need and like they're hitting their performance goals. Yeah. So it's like a team. It's like a collaboration.
That's what's up. So that was just a little bit of information tapping into a different element of the sports world. That was Dr. Alvin. Let me say his name right. Dr. Alvin Dyke. Dr. Alvin Dyke is the person who was speaking on, and again, that's the Last Flight Out podcast. Make sure y'all tap in with them for dope content in regards to all different types of sophisticated conversations. Not everything with them is about sports. So you definitely want to tap in with the Last Flight Out podcast. And I appreciate Dr. Alvin going into these things in greater detail, because since I got injured, I've been talking about it and trying to explain things in a way that's, comprehensible to people who haven't gone through this. But the truth is, no words will really explain it. The pain from post-surgery, the inconvenience, the harshness of trying to get your movement back, all of that stuff. I mean, I could gas it up for you, but unless you had to go through it, I don't think you ever empathize. You can have some sympathy, but you won't empathize with it. But yeah, that's the Last Flight Out podcast, speaking on injury recovery in athletics. Yes, classic. If you like what you just saw, support the channel. Make sure you subscribe, like, and jump in the comments. Talk to me so we could crack these codes. If you want to support the channel monetarily, go to my website and cop some merch, www.theclassiccodes.com, or you can shoot me a Cash App. Either way, stick to the codes.
Classic codes, I ain't taking it slow. Forgive me, Lord, I woke up in that mode. Weathered the winters when left in the cold.